Welcome to the complete collection of Tim Duncan's greatest stories. If you are new and you think you may enjoy this series, be sure to hit that subscribe button and tap that notification button so you stay up to date with all the new episodes in the series. Without further ado, welcome to the complete collection of Tim Duncan's greatest stories.
Send it in.
Yeah, that's important. What?
Rookies.
Believe it or not, y'all, Tim Duncan. Tim Duncan, shout to Timmy.
TDs.
Tim Duncan, people would not see him verbally saying stuff because he wasn't talking sentences.
He's the most stable, great player in the history of the NBA.
I'll go with Tim Duncan.
Yeah, I did too.
You go with Duncan. Duncan is probably
Yeah.
What do you think I was going to say?
Timmy is superstar plus plus. He's by himself in his own league, by himself.
Now, you hear a lot of other people say Tim Duncan is the greatest power forward to ever play the game. I agree with that.
Tim was an amazing teammate.
You know, what he was able to accomplish, you know, not only in the regular season, but more importantly in the postseason.
How many times have you seen somebody get a triple-double in Game 6 in the deciding game to win the championship? I knew he was great, but I really seen greatness that day.
Like Tim Duncan is great.
Everybody knew he was going to play basketball.
Duncan?
Give us a great Duncan story. What's the kind of Duncan story that you share with your buddies where you go, this is me telling you he's a little different than maybe this
he's
boring...
not a quiet guy. He's this happened.
Right. He's always this boring, quiet guy publicly, but he has to be more interesting than that.
Yeah, I got a good story. We was playing paintball.
It's preseason, you know. Tim.
Which year are we?
This is going into the championship year, going into the 03.
That's 03.
David Robinson's last year.
And, you know, Tim likes paintball guns. He likes to paint paintball. And it's hard to believe that a guy that's set that tall,
that big of a target,
is the best hider in paintball.
Going into the season,
you're 24.
Yeah. The previous year, I was on the injury list, so I didn't play all that year. So I was there all summer. I stayed in San Antonio all summer and stayed and worked out with Tim.
And you like Tim. You and Tim got along.
That's my guy. He loved, you know what I'm saying? Tim loved me, and the way he embraced me, it felt like I had my big brother again, because I lost my big brother when I was 15, 16. So Tim Duncan filled that role the time I was in San Antonio. I have to give him that. That's why I love him to death. But he used to always take me with him playing paintball. He knew I wasn't scared of nothing. I've been shot at by real bullets.
I'm one of those guys. You know, I'm not afraid to get shot. I've been shot at many times in real life. So
non-paintball.
Paintball bullets didn't bother me at all, right? So the paintball. So we used to shoot, and I was running. I didn't mind getting hit. So it was a game. Grab the flag. So
I was not worried about paintballs at all. You know what I mean? So I wanted to have a team bonding event before training camp.
Okay, we was not supposed to be playing paintball, and we was in training camp, and we snuck out. Pop actually he told us not to go. It was 2 days for camp, and we went anyway. Pop
said, y'all can do anything y'all want, just don't go play paintball. He knew how serious me and Tim took paintball.
So it was all Tim's idea. You wouldn't believe it. It's Tim's idea to go against Pop.
I have some friends, Tim have some friends, so we separate the two teams, so I'm always on Tim's team. So I didn't know really the paintball talk. So 10, I want you at 10, I want you at 20, and it's different belts. So I know 20's in the middle, 10 is all the way up, 50's back. You know, it's like yards.
Sure.
But it's beams that you hide behind. So normally at the beginning of the game, Tim telling me, Jack, go. That means go as far as I can without getting shot. If I can get close to him, like right on the other side of him, where I can shoot him like this, go, Jack. But he knows I'm not scared to get hit. So I'm like, Tim Duncan telling me to go, Jack, go. So I take off running. We're playing a game called Get the Flag. So, like I said, Tim had all the 2020 things. I had the normal mask that you get from the place when you go there. They give you the stock stuff.
You got Reynolds.
Reynolds, exactly. That's exactly what I had. So I had a rental mask. So I'm not knowing that these masks fog up, right? I'm not knowing that.
So I didn't know that. I was just an action junkie. So I'm running out there to go get the flag, and my mask fogs up.
I'm 007. I'm dodging bullets, sliding. I'm just doing all the stuff that I see on video games. I'm actually doing it in real life. So I get to the stairs to grab the flag, right? So it's the flag is in between some steps, so you can go up without getting hit. But the bullets, it's not bullets. The paintballs are still coming. So I'm ducking down, and I'm reaching up for the flag, and as I reach up for the flag, I breathe, and my mask fogs up.
So I have to go up the steps. So I slip on the first step.
As I do that, my mask slides up. I hit the step, mouth first. Boom! Blood just starts shooting everywhere. So nobody knows, because they can't see me. Nobody knows that I'm about to bleed out. I'm about to bleed out. It was a self-inflicted wound. I'm about to bleed out. So I'm on the steps, trying to feel like all this blood coming from my lip, just swelling up at the same time. It's just swelling up.
Blood just starts shooting everywhere, So I put my mask down. I'm trying to run off the field, and I'm just holding my mouth, and I'm just getting shot. And I'm trying to tell people, stop, and I'm getting shot the whole way. So as I get there, I take off my mask, and Tim's like, oh, how I'm going to tell Pop? My lip is just huge. I'm talking about huge. And Tim was just like, how I'm going to tell Pop? So we made up something.
We sit there and try to make up all kind of stuff. I fell somewhere, And once we got to practice, we had a nice story. I don't remember exactly what the story was the next day.
What were some of the lies that you suggested?
That I fell down the steps at home.
Shower,
a ball hit me in the mouth. Yeah, you know, I was playing. Me and my friend was boxing and stuff like that. So I get to practice, and I see Pop. So his face is like, I don't want to hear it. Don't BS me. Tell me what happened. So as I'm getting ready to tell the story, Malik Rose walks in. I'm glad he did, because he helped us. Pop has the
Shack of the Knack, yeah.
Pop has you jeopardized my best player, Tim Duncan. You was involved. You're hurt. I don't know what,
Yeah, you didn't even play last year.
Oh, he's terrible. He's hot. Malik walks in, and as I'm finna explain Pop, Malik walks in and points at my lip. Yo, what is this? And just busts out laughing, right? His reaction made Pop laugh. And that was my time. We went and played paintball, Pop. I can't lie. I fell playing paintball. He was like, but I was all right. He seen I was all right.
Yeah.
And Malik kind of broke the ice.
And nothing was wrong with Duncan.
I didn't get suspended. Tim was fine. Tim was laughing. Pop's only reply was, I'm glad it was you and not Tim. I'd rather be you than Tim. Thanks, Pop.
Oh, Tim's cool, man. Tim's a class act. Very good people. It's a pleasure.
It's a fun off-the-court kind of thing.
Yeah, I mean, it's so laid back, so relaxed.
Check out the player.
Might be stuck out him for a while.
Man. You know, but on the court, he's a warrior. So it's nice to see those two aspects.
Kobe Bryant, who is the best player in the NBA right now, yourself included?
Come on, I'm not going to say it's somebody else. Are you kidding me? And I know what I think, and I'm sure there's plenty of other people who feel the same, feel the same way about themselves. At the end of the year, when our careers are all said and done, then everybody can go ahead and discuss and see what's what.
And we can count chips, can't we? And let the chips fall where they may, as they say.
Yeah. I mean, yeah.
Careful, Cole, because Duncan's sitting on 4. He's playing well.
You know what? We had a really good discussion about that when we played in San Antonio, man.
Well, I mean, it's been fun competing against him for all these years. And, he and I had an opportunity to have some great dialogue tonight.
You said something to me about a shot I took or something like that. He said, hey, man, Kobe's out here shooting all the balls or something like that. I said, you know what?
4 times we beat him in the playoffs. Can't count.
I remember that beating you guys a few times in the playoffs. And he said, well, yeah, you guys got us a couple of times. I said, you know what, my ring count, I think, is a little higher than you.
Shut him down.
Really enjoyed that, man. It was like two old dogs just barking back and forth at each other. It was great.
You've battled him for a long time. Just what's it been like going against him for all these years?
A huge honor. Yeah. He's a player that I've enjoyed competing against the most. We've had our battles.
What were you thinking, Tim Duncan, when you got ejected for laughing on the bench in 2007?
Wow.
Yeah.
In shock for a very long time that went straight to very, very, very mad. I know there was a couple choice words flung his direction at the exit there, but in absolute shock until it kind of caught up to me.
I don't know if I've covered you for a long time. I don't know if I've ever seen you get mad. You got mad?
Yeah, oh yeah, I got mad at that one.
Did you guys talk about that over the years afterward? No.
We've never addressed it. I've never talked to him about it. No.
Wow.
He didn't move. He didn't say anything. He's leaving the arena. I'm sure Michelle Tafoya here
asked him, did you say anything?
Nope.
No, I didn't say anything.
Just left.
I laughed.
He gets beat up in there, nothing happens. It was the same ride.
No, kids, Kobe's trying to get to the basket.
Devin was trying to
Wait
get
a minute,
to the basket.
A to B, and he winds up at C.
That's the same
Devin
thing with
who?
him. Oh, come on now.
No, I'm serious. I don't even know what you're talking about. Which play you're talking about? I don't even know the one kid's name.
Devin Brown.
Devin, Joe Crawford. Nice to meet you.
Was there someone that you loved, you knew that the motherfucker could back it up, Andy was going to talk it to you?
Believe it or not, y'all, Tim Duncan. Tim Duncan, shout out to Timmy. Tim Duncan,
Timmy.
people would not see him verbally saying stuff because he wasn't talking sentences.
Preach.
Timmy would hit you in phrases. Got you. Ooh, almost. This the worst right here. Nice try. Like subtle shit. No gangster shit, no real hardcore shit. Just subtly to just back your ass up and put you back in like this over here.
He said that it would frustrate him the most that he would talk all his shit, but she would smile and say like good job and stuff. Like that would piss him off the most.
But what really pissed me off was when the trash talking wasn't affecting him. So now you spending all this energy trying to rile this up. You forgot about your own game. You forgot about that they coming to you that you're supposed to. And then that's when I actually quit talking trash to Timmy because he wouldn't respond or he wasn't giving me the reaction I was getting. I can't really get hype off. This nigga ain't really giving me nothing. And looking now, start, doing a little, the shoulder shit and he won't react to that.
Yeah.
Next thing Timmy got 20, 15, like I'm in here like, so then I started changing that.
Why would you never engage in trash talk, Tim?
With him, because that's what he wanted.
Okay.
That's what he wanted. He wanted to get you outside yourself. He wanted to piss you off and kind of control the situation. And I guess I recognize that. And plus, it wasn't part of my game. Like it frustrates people more when you just keep coming and coming and coming, and you just keep getting things done. And no matter what they throw at you or no matter what they do, it doesn't affect you, and it ends up affecting them much more than it does you. So that was my way. That was my what I figured out to be most effective, and it fit with my game. Like I didn't have to trash talk. I didn't need to trash talk. I wasn't good at it. So
I was just about to ask you if you were even good at doing it.
Yeah. So my more thing was just like kind of poke the bear, just kind of poke him a little bit and piss them off a little bit, and then they react and poke him again.
I didn't understand that sometimes with Tim. I used to come out of the game and Pop just screaming at him, cursing him out, and I'm sitting down there, man, how's you letting this motherfucker talk to you like this? You Tim Duncan.
He would never
ain't
be
saying
upset.
nothing. So when Pop come to me, I got to be like, what the fuck can I say? Tim Duncan taking it. Right. I got to take it.
Gotta take it, right?
But it made me a better player. It made me
up.
coachable.
Please explain what is happening here. You look like the Gatorade
Why did I drink
you.
it again?
I don't know. I swear to God, I've seen this clip 20 times, and I need to know what's in there. Flavor
I obviously
issue?
didn't know then either. I didn't know what was in it then. I'm sure that there was some kind of supplement in it or something that either it wasn't mine or it was like they used to put the cramping medicine in there.
Electrolyte stuff in there.
So maybe that's probably not what I asked for at the time. I wasn't expecting it.
Timmy didn't talk to me the whole first year.
Didn't say a word to you for the year, for your rookie year. Didn't talk to you.
No, but he was a superstar, and maybe he had doubts, that a little French point guard can bring him to the championship.
I will always remember when I was 19 and you called me in the back end of the plane. We were only 4 games in, and you said, Tony, you're going to start next game.
I knew he was going to be a good one and all of that, but I knew he was really young, and it was kind of a feeling out process where you just got to get used to people.
And I was like, want to start? I was like, did you talk to Timmy? Because I was like, Is Timmy okay with it?
I knew he was a great player, but he never talked to me, during my first year.
I don't think I said 10 words to him the entire first year. Not for any other reason than I don't know what to talk about with the kid. So
I think he didn't think like a little point guard from France can bring him to the championship. So I had to earn his respect.
The story is, or the story that he tells, is that I didn't speak for him for his first year of his career here. I won't confirm nor deny that.
I was so scared. I was like, oh my God, I'm starting.
That's why the first time he talked to me is after I had a good series against Gary Payton in the Seattle Supersonics, and I played well in that series. And Gary was one of the best point guards in the NBA, and so I think Timmy saw that if I can play like that against Gary, then I can maybe play like that against anybody. And that gave me a lot of confidence, obviously. And after that summer, that's when I saw the difference with Timmy. And even most of my teammates, they were like, okay, we can go to war with him.
KG and Tim Duncan, like those guys can always be linked from your era, but also in their greatness. And those guys you went to war with on a regular basis.
Who's harder?
Tim Duncan.
Tim Duncan, too.
Like, most guys I could speed up and make you play at my pace. I could frustrate you. I could do this and I could do that. But with him, it didn't matter. Because he was going to play at his own pace. He was going to get to his spots. He was going to shoot the shot he wanted to shoot. And I just had to make that shot as tough as possible. You know what I'm saying? With a guy like KG, like I know what he's finna do, so I can make him do something different. Well, like, he might make a tough shot, but I can manipulate the way he shot, took shots and things like that. Because KG dominant right shoulder guy. I know this. But with Tim, the only thing Tim knew that he couldn't play with the ball down here with me. So when Tim went to make his move, he made it. Like, if he played with the ball, like in one game, I stripped Tim Duncan 7 times in one game. Like, I heard Pop laid into Tim after the game. Like, stripped him 7 times. After that, he made it tough for me to get him again, you know what I'm saying? Because he knew when I'm playing him, I got to go to my move. And Tim made me start, like, realizing I got to do my work early. Like, defensive, like, I got to meet him at the free throw line. He made me turn my brain on, because my physical I was there physically. Wasn't go bully me, wasn't. So now, he thinking it. So now I got to think it. It became a thinking man's game for me, not just the physical part. So, okay, how can I manipulate where he catch the ball at? Okay, meet him at the free throw line. Push him out, don't let him walk me straight down the line. Okay, I know he want to shoot his bank shot on this side, so I'm gonna try to take that away on this side. Some of the battles that KG and Tim had with each other, historic, you know what I'm saying? So, but now they both deserving of the accolades and everything that they received, man.
I mentioned Tim Duncan and his great combination of humility and confidence, and Tim was an amazing teammate because he was so dominant. He was such a great player, but he took everything on his shoulders. And I remember we had a game one time where we lost the game, it was a close game, and he comes into the locker room. He's like, guys, that's my fault, man. It's my fault. I got to be better. And he had like 39 points and 18 rebounds. And I'm looking at the stat sheet, like, Tim, you played pretty well. No, I got to be better. And it was genuine. It was genuine, and that's why I love Tim. So guys like that who take on that burden of the team's success and are willing to take the blame, even when everybody knows how good they are and that we never would have had a chance in the first place, if they hadn't done their thing. That's powerful leadership.
How are you, sir?
Great, Tim Duncan.
Oh, the great Bill Russell. I just heard about the award. That's awesome. Unbelievable. That's unbelievable for the award, not for you, obviously. It's an honor to have your name on there. That's great. That's great.
Thank you.
Great to see you.
If you had a choice to start a team with either Tim Duncan or Shaq, who would you start it with?
I don't know.
It's a good question, isn't it?
Yes, because now they're both tall guys.
They're both franchise players.
And they're both great players. But they, like Wilt and I, they both do completely different things.
Exactly.
Tim Duncan played more like I played.
Right.
I had a lot of fun talking, just listening to you talk about your philosophies of the game and your teammates and life. Obviously, it's kind of eerie, some of the similarities that we've had in our lives and kind of our careers. I love this. I love that you're a basketball mind. You never know that about people until you're able to sit down and talk to them. So that was a lot of fun learning that about you.
Well, we have so much in common. I find it very flattering. This is the way I feel about it. Do you know the name Jackie Robinson?
Absolutely.
The day after he died, his wife called me and said, I want you to be a pallbearer at Jackie's funeral. I said, of course. I said, but could I ask why? Why me? And she said, you were Jackie's favorite athlete because the way you conducted,
cool. That's pretty cool.
and I feel the same way about you. You've played hard, played smart, won championships, and I don't think you finished with that yet.
I'm not.
Really?
I want to win one more trophy. I've got your name on it.
At least one more.
I have a lot to learn. I want to become a better player than I am today.
To reach that goal, Leonard absorbs all he can from his more accomplished teammates.
As Kawhi Leonard answers.
To play alongside an NBA legend like Tim Duncan is great. He makes the game easier for me, gives a lot of knowledge to me throughout the game.
You think that Kawhi Leonard doesn't talk much. When Timmy first got here, it was like mental telepathy. I would say something to him, and he would stare. The same stare that Tony gets on the court. And
Timmy's got superpowers with his eyes too. He's the only teammate that never asks me or talk to me to get the ball. He just looks at me. And when you're 19 years old coming from France, that's very scary when he looks at you. He doesn't have to talk to me. Most of the guys like, hey, Tony, I'm open. Bruce was a pain. Tony, you missed me in the corner. Tony, I'm like. But Timmy just look at me like, and I'd be like, hey, Pop, Timmy, look at me. We should run a play. And Pop would be like, he really look at you? I was like, yeah, so we should run a play. If you want me to be the point guard tomorrow, I need to pass him the ball right now. So that's special power, and that's another reason why he's special, because he doesn't have to talk to get the ball. You just give him the ball.
We know how great Tim Duncan was in this league. With that franchise, I had my battles with him. Also was a teammate with him in the Olympics, and just seeing what he was able to accomplish. Not only in the regular season, but more importantly in the postseason.
Great job, man. Hey, man, I love how you're on 15 minutes. Stay that way, man. Stay that way. We're going to drive these guys. This is going to be your league in a little while. But I appreciate you giving us this year.
And he lived in the postseason.
But playing against a young LeBron and an older LeBron,
yeah.
Two different players, two totally different players, and it was fun to watch and be a part of.
That was his address. So. For me to be linked with the great and the big fundamentals, it means a lot.
Talented player in the NBA. Most talented. You got a lot of talented players. You can go with Duncan. Duncan is probably, don't sleep on Tim Duncan. I would think he's probably the most fundamental all around big man.
I've heard you say many times the greatest big men, Kareem, Wilt, Bill Russell, maybe Akeem, then maybe me. Now, you hear a lot of other people say Tim Duncan is the greatest power forward to ever play the game. I agree with that. So, wasn't trying to be disrespectful. Never be disrespectful. The guy is a great player. He has 5. I just don't want people to get mixed up with power forward and center.
What were you thinking, Tim Duncan, when your teammates Tony Parker and Manu Ginobili pranked you, set you up to sit on a cup on the bench in 2013? Here we go.
Oh, this is.
You kind of look like you knew what
So
it was.
this. Yeah, well, we've been going back and forth with this all year long. So I had gotten him a couple times, he'd gotten me a couple times, obviously Tony in there as well. And so we became hyper aware of our surroundings and just always kind of being on tilt, being ready. And he caught me slipping.
So we always know you as the Spur for life, and you are, because you've been there you've been there your whole career. But in 2003, after a title, Orlando, am I right to say this? Orlando seemed like a possibility. Why didn't that happen for you?
Yeah.
Why didn't that end up happening, and how close was it to happening?
It was absolutely in the ballpark. Why didn't it happen? Coach Pop, David Robinson, talking to these guys, and them kind of having the last word, and understanding that I really enjoyed with what I had there, and maybe had a little more of control and certainty where I was.
So now it's his first contract is up. Everybody remembers this, all the talk about going to Orlando. Oh, and he played it up. He played it up really well.
Their biggest fear that they might lose Duncan to free agency after this season.
Tim and I made that pact years ago that the best thing for him to do was to be totally free to make a decision on what he wants to do with his future. So we've understood philosophically and intellectually from the beginning that's the way it should be, and we've never veered from it, and it's never even been a topic for us.
Orlando's got $18 million in cap money, so they can sign two major players, whether it's going to be Grant Hill, Eddie Jones, Tracy McGrady, obviously at the top of that list.
So finally, he made a decision after putting me through the grinder for what seemed like an eternity. He came over one night. True story. Don't you even try to deny it. True story. He thinks it's funny. He walks in, he says, Pop, before we sit down, I got to just tell you I'm going to go to Orlando. But he doesn't, say, just kidding. He waits like 5 or 6 seconds, and I'm stunned for a while, and then he tells me what he's going to do.
The Orlando Magic were very close, Bruce says, to signing Duncan in the summer of 2000 when T-Mac and Grant Hill both joined the team. Bruce said that Magic head coach Doc Rivers denied Tim's request during the negotiations that his family could join the team plane on some flights to games, and that is when Rivers lost Tim Duncan, who could have played next to you, Tracy, in Orlando.
He's sad over here.
Let's give Duncan a moment here, Jalen, because there's probably never been an all-time great who had as little fanfare and asked for as little fanfare as he did. What was it like being on the floor with him?
He's the most stable, great player in the history of the NBA, on and off the floor. You won't see another guy play 20 straight years for the same team and make the playoffs each year. Tim Duncan was the best defensive player also would rebound the basketball, and also for a 7-foot guy, his touch, his 15, 18-foot bank shot, facing up playing against smaller guys and against larger guys. Usually the 7-foot guy, Greeny, dominated you by dunks. Tim Duncan dominated you by skill, and that's what helped make him be an all-time great.
I'm trying to think, has there ever been a superstar, the greatest player at his position, who was able to relinquish and let other guys, when he was past his prime or wasn't as great as he was, he let Ginobili and Parker take over and didn't say a word. I mean, that's really hard for a guy because we all got egos.
The first time I encountered greatness, it was definitely experiencing playing with Tim Duncan. Being able to actually play in the finals and play with the best power forward to ever play the game. I think in the finals in 2003, Game 6, I think Tim Duncan's greatness was really overlooked that game. I knew he was great, but I really seen greatness that day.
It's the iconic Duncan game. 21, 20, 10, 8.
Giving it to you.
2 blocks away.
Giving it to you.
2 blocks away from the
He had the
quadruple.
2 blocks and they stole them from him.
Is that true?
Yeah. They marked him off.
Is this
they gave him away?
Is this a crazy San Antonio thing, or is
Yes.
this a real thing?
No, this is like a real thing,
It's like
but also a San
some
Antonio
dude in a
thing.
bar in San Antonio told you this, and
Yeah,
you just
I don't know
accepted
who
it?
started it, but everybody was like, "Oh, that's true."
It was just it's such a moment where just come that far, and it's just you're just trying to get it done and trying to get over the hump there.
To win the championship, for him to go out with having 2 blocks away from a quadruple-double, 20 points, 20 rebounds, and like 8 blocks. Dominate the whole game from start to finish, demand double teams, and his stat line, just to see how dominant someone can be and his greatness. I respect the guy more who goes out there and get the job done and focus on winning games instead of talking about it.
It was such a fun night, and I ended the game, and Tom James, my PR guy, kind of shows me the stats, and I was like, "Oh wow! I didn't know. I didn't realize I was that close to a quad double," and so I was just kind of playing in the moment.
This is the most important comment that I can make about Tim Duncan. I can honestly say to Mr. and Mrs. Duncan, who have passed, that man right there is exactly the same person now as he was when he walked in the door.
Thank you, San Antonio. Thank you.
And that was the Tim Duncan episode. Be sure to hit that like button if you enjoyed, subscribe if you are new, and hit that notification button to stay up to date with all the new episodes. Be sure to comment down below which player you would like to see next, and we'll catch you in the next one. Peace.